Celtic launched their season ticket campaign for season 2025-26 yesterday with the tagline "Back for the Future," but with prices rising 5 to 8%. Are they being a little bit Marty McFly? That's the kind of questions that we're asking on today's video. Did you enjoy that one, Joe? Was that half decent? I thought of that for about 10 minutes earlier.
Great Scott, as Doc Brown would have said. Yeah, I'll leave you to the puns, but...
Okay, Joe's here, everyone. It's your birthday as well, Joe. Well, it's actually not, because by the time people are watching this, it won't be. But right now, as we look at you, it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, big 39, the big one next year. So, without sounding too on the nose, what a present it would be for the weekend if Celtic could do me a turn and deliver the league title. Did
you get any Celtic merch today?
No, just the indication that the season ticket prices are going up slightly, but no Celtic merch. That was my only gift from the club on my birthday.
Great stuff. Typical Celtic. Okay, let's just begin with that, everyone. It's lovely to have you with us, by the way. Appreciate you spending a little bit of your Friday. Celtic did launch their 2025-26 season ticket campaign yesterday with a flashy video featuring DI Steve Arnott from Line of Duty himself. Martin Compston, who I'm surprised the club haven't really used more for things, given that he's obviously very comfortable in front of a camera and a diehard Celtic fan as well. They answered big questions like, why was there a giant door at Celtic Park for a recent game against Hibs? It's so that Martin Compston could walk through it for all this. And there was also a first social media acknowledgement from the club that Kieran Tierney is coming home, which was kind of interesting. Brendan Rodgers also featuring in there. They didn't have him walking out a door though, Joe. That probably would have been a little bit too much for some people to handle. The club playing on Jota being back, Tierney coming back, asking the question, are you going to join them? Are you going to join them, Joe?
Yes, I will. I might end up coming across as an apologist over the course of this conversation, because I know that the price hike has, if using social media as a barometer is to go by, people are terminably upset on social media about Celtic. But I understand, at a time when cost of living crisis and people are feeling the pinch, that when season ticket prices go up, there is a conversation to be had. But I've had my ticket since 1997, and it won't be deterring me. It's been frozen in some seasons over the years. This one is it's a noticeable hike, but I'll certainly be among the fans that will be returning next season.
Yeah, I think that, to be honest, that probably sums up the vast majority of people. Probably have a bit of a problem with prices rising. Just in terms of the price in adults, now starting at £608. That's rising from, I think, £559 for the same ticket last year. I make that, and I know maths isn't your strong point, but I make that an 8% increase, which seems a lot to me. Over 65s priced at £376. Season ticket prices for under 18s have been frozen, with the cost starting at £50 for under 13, so credit where it's due there. The renewal deadline for season tickets is May the 30th, so you have got around about 35 days, so plenty of time. It doesn't include our Champions League playoff tie either, the season ticket, so it's just the league game, so you'll have to buy that as a separate ticket, as well as at least four additional league phase matches, either in the Champions League or the Europa League. So it's an expensive old time. I think what you say sums it up for a lot of people. Probably, as I say, a bit frustrated that prices are going up and continue to go up, but also you're going to be there next season, because we all just have that feeling for Celtic, and as you say, people have had season tickets for decades, and you all want to be there when those big games come around. So it's a tough one, but I think for me, I would probably look at the money the club have coming in at the moment, and how well off we are financially, and I would question why tickets are going up so much. I know there's inflation and all stuff like that. I don't particularly understand Or even you would maybe ask why is that Champions League qualifier not thrown in as a nice kind of goodwill gesture, given the support that the support have shown the club in recent years. But as we say, Joe, this is Celtic, and virtually every game will still sell out.
Yeah, that's it. That's it in a nutshell. I think the comments can correct me if I'm wrong, but that final qualifier for the Champions League, was that ever on the season ticket? I remember
I don't think so.
the years going by when there was sometimes 4, obviously, but sometimes 3, sometimes 2. I remember the ones leading up to it. But I think
Yeah.
that one, because it's considered, I know you're not quite in the Champions League yet, but the flag's out on the pitch and the tune's getting played. It's the only one where you're kind of right on the cusp of it. I could be wrong. I might just be misremembering, but I think that it's always been the case you get charged for that. I mean, yeah, a goodwill gesture. Anything would have been lovely. But I mean, before coming on, I did a very cursory search online just to get a sense of what the Premier League are charging, for example, because obviously I know it's a bigger league and arguably, I suppose it's not an argument, more entertaining football week to week because of the teams that are there. And again, this was goal.com throwing up, this was the start of this season, 24-25. The cheapest Arsenal adult ticket, £1,073. Tottenham, 856. Liverpool and Liverpool and Newcastle are probably the biggest parallels with Celtic, I would say, in terms of the fan base and that kind of want to go to every game and be part of things. 713 for Liverpool, 662 for Newcastle. And I know that the English Premier League and the Scottish Premier League the Scottish Premiership rather are completely different things. But in terms of the stature of Celtic and the fact that you say it's going to sell out all the time, it's kind of in the same vicinity. And that either is going to be okay for people who want to go to every home game at Celtic, or it's not because it's not the same standard of league, whatever. It's always going to be that that kind of conflict between where you stand. I think there'll be a lot of people, this isn't to play anything down, I completely understand that at a time, like I said this already, at a time when you really count the pennies because things are a lot more expensive. Everything from your weekly shopping to going for meals to going to the football is more expensive. There'll be a lot of people that complain about it and still go. And there'll be a lot of people that are happy going, I'm never like anything, you never really want to see prices going up, as you said as well, but I don't think it's going to stop people from coming through the gates in that big massive door at Celtic Park that you mentioned.
How much out of interest roughly were you for the Champions League 4-match package this year? Was that like another couple of hundred?
The 4-match was, my goodness, I'm drawing a blank. It was I want to say 150. It's coming to me.
Right.
Was
okay.
it? I could be well off that. I might just be completely misremembering.
Tell you what, I'll look it up. Yeah. Right, think I've got it. So I think it's 184 for the 4-match package for an adult, which is 46 per match. Because I think they kind of froze the per match price, but obviously we had an additional match. I guess you're getting an extra match for that. It's just like, and again, this isn't all down to Celtic, and it's not only applicable to Celtic, but it's just such an expensive time these days when you think of all of these matches. Maybe if you go on a away European trip and then you've got all the Hampden games and all your TV packages and merchandise and all of that stuff, 4 kits coming out. God, football has become so expensive, hasn't it? And it's going to continue to be that way. But anyway, I'm sure you'll let us know what you think about Celtic's season tickets. As we say, season tickets are still going to sell out. There is a buzz for Celtic right now that we've probably not had for quite a while. Okay, other news. Did you see that Jamie Vardy's going to leave Leicester at the end of the season? I'm kind of wary of bringing this up because he is a 38-year-old. Leicester described Vardy as our greatest ever player, which kind of made me, just for a second, kind of stop and go, really? But to be fair, he has, been part of the team that won the league, won the FA Cup under Brendan Rodgers, got to the Champions League, was it quarters, and scored all of those goals for them. So yeah, he's going to leave them. My question, as I say, he's played under Brendan Rodgers before, did very well. 7 Premier League goals this season, 18 in the Championship last year. Would you take him for a season? Feel free to shoot me down, Joe.
I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so personally. But I mean, I suppose we've in more recent times seen Kasper Schmeichel come through the doors, and Aye, it's Jeffrey Slip as well. People coming up from down south and adding to the, it's always that adding to the elusive atmosphere in the dressing room. It's a big head and all that kind of stuff. I don't think so. I think that I think Jamie Vardy's had a fantastic career at Leicester and really endeared himself to the fans for everything he's done, not just winning the Premier League, but going down to the Championship and sticking with them. And a lot of players would have jumped ship, and he was at a time in his career when they've been up and down that he could have easily have done that. But no, it's not really been in my mind that he would come to Celtic. I was more thinking about some of our aging players like James Forrest and the kind of send off that he might get. Hopefully not anytime soon in terms of his form still being right up there, but I liked. I mean, I don't know Jamie Vardy. I've never met him, but he seems like a kind of down to earth guy, and he's worked very hard for that club. And I suppose you can see those parallels between some of our long standing players. But I don't know. I mean, stranger things has happened, but for me, I'm not sure it's something that Celtic really should be paying too much attention to.
Okay, fine. He did shoot me down, everyone. That's absolutely fine. Incredibly boring, him and his wife. The reason I say that is I was watching Celebrity Gogglebox recently, and people may or may not know this. I don't know if you've ever watched it, but he's in, I think, the first series. And dear oh dear, the two of them got like no airtime. They had nothing to say, and they clearly weren't invited back for series 2. So I don't know what that really has to do with anything. So no to Vardy. Yes to VPN though. In fact, actually, because I used the VPN to watch Celebrity Gogglebox, so that's pretty good. This Celtic AM video is brought to you in affiliation with NordVPN. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, so it secures your connection, protecting your personal information and online activity, especially on public Wi-Fi. A VPN can also make your phone or laptop appear like it's in another country, making it great for accessing content if you're going on holiday, if you're living abroad and feeling like you're still at home even though you're away. So if you're heading on holiday anytime soon and want to be able to access your normal streaming options, then get involved with NordVPN. Our link will get you up to 74% off NordVPN's 2-year plan plus 3 extra months. The link is nordvpn.com/CelticAM. Right, big game tomorrow, Joe. Tannadice, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I know that you guys have spoken at length about Hampden and the way that game kind of panned out, but it was a wee tonic for me. It was nice to just have a nice day of football that, and again, they've spoken at length, even when I've been on the channel, about perceivable inconsistencies in this Celtic team this year in 2024. Some of the best football, some of the best results, best performances that we've seen in a long time. 2025, maybe less so. But walking up to the game, how many stories have you heard people saying they thought it was going to be a 4 or 5-0, and sure enough, we got the latter. So it was just good, a sunny day, a decent pitch, a good result, everybody firing all cylinders. And despite it being a little bit disappointing that the chance was missed a few weeks back to be able to clinch the title at Celtic Park, last week really sets everything up for Tannadice. So it feels like it's a foregone conclusion almost. Still need to go and get the what they need from the match, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel, I think everyone thinks tomorrow's going to be the day, but you really want to go and do it in style. And as I said earlier in the week, my big stat that I'll just reiterate one final time, because you'll all be fed up by now, is that whenever Brendan Rodgers has won the league as Celtic manager, actually won the league, gone to win the league, win a match to win the league, it's been 5-0 every time, Joe. So Tynecastle, invincible season, Rangers 5-0 the following year, and then obviously Rugby Park this time last year. So there's something there. I'm not saying it's going to be 5-0, but there's something there about the Celtic team really fancying the big occasion to go and win the league. He clearly knows the team talk to give. And yeah, I do think the team are going to go and do it in style tomorrow. Tough game though. I mean, Tannadice is a tough place to go. They're going to be motivated. Remember, we went there under Postecoglou 3 years ago now, and we all expected, I think, to turn up and win that game and win the league, and we ended up drawing it, and we're kind of holding on a little bit at the end. So I hope it's a better performance than that night, and I really hope that the team can go and do it in style. Would you play the same team as last Sunday at Hampden?
I think so. I think that we're at that stage in the season now where we've we've had so much, and the team's come under some fire and the manager as well, about maybe some players dropping off slightly, and questioning whether they should be starting. I think that the game at Hampden kind of, excuse me, kind of crystallised that. It was like a number of changes, and then chipping away at the game for 35 minutes, really knocking at the door, but not maybe quite getting that wee bit of luck. And then in 10 minutes, 4 goals come from Dice and Maida on the left. And, like everything was kind of clicking. And it was, again, I know you've already spoken about this on the channel, but speaking about myself at the game, turning around to my dad and saying that it was fantastic to see Dice and Maida get 2 goals from the left, because we've spoken so much about, that Kyogo leaving and Dice and Maida refinding his form through the middle. And is that the answer to Celtic's forward plans over the course of the summer? But it's great to see him going on that side and still getting the goals, which makes you think, again, revisit the conversation about in the transfer window, we're going to look more centrally for a striker, which might be Jamie Vardy or not. But no, I think you go with the same team. I think you go with the same team and hopefully start the game in the same way. Really, really bring that mentality and that edge that you kind of touched upon there. Brendan Rodgers giving that team talk. Listen, I would take 5-0 right now. It would be absolutely fantastic. But equally, as I said a few weeks back, I was happy for Celtic to win it off the pitch. It gets to this point in the year, and I just want it over the line so we can focus fully on that final and really seal it. But no, it should be a good game. I mean, Dundee United have been good this year, but they've had their moments where, maybe a little bit harder to predict in terms of inconsistencies. So I think if Celtic are up for it, there shouldn't really be any doubt, I don't think.
There's always just such a good buzz in the air when on the day you can win the league, whether that's at Celtic Park or more so in recent years it's been away from home, because it's a strange quirk, isn't it? But it's virtually always been away from home. I think going back 15 years, we've maybe only won it at Celtic Park like once or twice, and virtually every other year has been away from home. But such a buzz. I remember a funny story. I was at Tannadice last time when we won it under Postecoglou in the home end, because I couldn't get an away ticket, and sitting in the home end, just taking everything in, and it allows you to take in the atmosphere a bit more, because obviously the Dundee United end wasn't exactly jumping. And Celtic scored, Giakoumakis scored, and obviously I'm not going to get up in the middle of loads of Dundee United fans and celebrate. So I was safe there. And then Dundee United equalised, a brilliant goal. I think Dylan Levitt it was with a screamer that night. And obviously everyone around me is up celebrating, and I'm just sitting there. And then I get like a tap on the shoulder. Just this guy 2 rows behind me, absolutely raging at the thought of a Celtic fan being in the home end at Tannadice. And I was like, I've put money into your club, and I'm also not being a dick here. I'm not celebrating in your face. So if anyone is near this guy tomorrow in the Dundee United end, and there will be loads of Celtic fans, because it was funny after the game when all the Dundee United fans cleared off. They did a wee round the pitch, and then they all cleared off, and there was like, I think a couple of hundred still left in that stand, and suddenly the Celtic scarves came out of the bags, and the jackets were unzipped and to show the hoops and all that stuff. So there's going to be a lot of Celtic fans in the home end tomorrow. I know it's quite difficult to get tickets, but we find a way. So if you're going to Tannadice, enjoy it. But it's not something I would do again, because it was hellish not being able to celebrate watching. Have you ever done that? You ever been in the home end at a game?
I'd done it back in the 90s. My dad and I went to, before with my season ticket, it was, I want to say 95, 96. It was a game that Celtic won 2-1. Van Hooijdonk and Donnelly, if I remember rightly. And we spent the first half in the home end. And there was I would have been 10 years old. And I think there was some choice language being directed at the away team, to the point where my dad eventually said to one of the stewards, explained the situation, and they managed to find space for us at the back of the Celtic. Really? It wouldn't happen these days. They managed to get us in at the back of the Celtic end, and I think just on me because of my age as well. But no, I don't, again, 10 years old, which was many moons ago for me, but I don't remember it entirely. But no, never recommended. I think get yourself into the boozer if you kind of get a ticket, and just enjoy it that way if you want to be kind of up near it or whatever. But
I agree.
No, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I saw some people just kind of hypothesising about if the worst happens and it rolls on another week, there's an added edge to the game that follows. But I don't even see it like that. And I guess people are being flippant. Not that you'd ever want Celtic not to succeed or even draw in this instance, but I see it as a game that you want Celtic to go out and win comfortably. You know, the entertaining football that we have shown in real bursts this season. And then there's still an edge about the following game. You know, we'll no doubt speak about that properly once this league is once the Dundee United game is wrapped up. But I like the double header, you know, because it ultimately is a dead rubber at that point. But because of previous fixtures, it's no longer. So it just means, you know, a more entertaining last stretch for Celtic as well, including the cup final.
Yes, bring it on. I'm really excited for it. As I said, you know, there's always such a buzz in the air when Celtic can go and win the league, and you're going to have that at Tannadice. I know it's a lunchtime kick-off and it's not midweek like it's been previous times at Tannadice, but the atmosphere is going to be amazing, and if Celtic get an early goal, it's just going to be complete party time. Official-wise, we've got referee Don Robertson for the game, assisted by David Room and Ross Nelson. VAR is Greg Aitken, and assistant VAR Graham Leslie. Just finally, Joe, I mean, it's going to happen. So what would 4 in a row mean to you?
Everything. There's been a discourse going around, you know, Celtic
tedious
fandom over yes, exactly. And I mean it's a, without dwelling on it, the headline is quite inflammatory. It's clickbait or whatever. The article makes more of a nuanced debate. You know, you can call it an argument, but I don't care. I've said it so many times before. I've said it on this channel. Like, those parallels for me as a Celtic fan go back to the facile argument of, you know, but do you not want a strong range? I don't care. I want Celtic to win. I want Celtic to win all the time. I want them to win at home, away, in Europe, whatever. And I think that's what makes you a football supporter. It's not even about anything to do with Celtic. It's not, tedious. It's a silly thing to say. But no, 4 in a row would be fantastic. And I don't know, like I can't, I don't take anything for granted. You know, like one of those fans that was tortured by the 90s and winning very little. My dad has the 90s and the 50s. He's of a different generation, and you know, he said you can never take the moments where you're winning for granted. And I look at my youngest, my son's only 4 years old, 5 later this year, just starting to get into football. And I hope that Celtic's success continues on. And a wee bit spoiled, I don't mean that as in fans are spoiled, I just mean spoiled by success. And it's a good thing. You know, it's a good thing that Celtic are so dominant. So, yeah, no tedium from me. It would mean everything for me. And, you know, you want to get that treble as well. And I know you guys have spoken about this loads, but how much we almost expect trebles now, or the fact that they've become the norm for Celtic. I mean, you can't take that for granted.
Mad stuff, and the team have another chance to add another trophy tomorrow. So, yeah, everyone enjoy it. I always say that before these games, these big games where you know that success is possible, and in tomorrow's case, probable. I think it's fair to say. Go and enjoy it. Just sit down wherever you're watching in the world, whatever time the game kicks off. I think it's 9:30 here. If you're going out to the pub, to a CSC where you're from, if you're going to the game yourself, if you're watching it in the house, just sit and enjoy it, and hopefully the team can put on a real show, because winning is difficult. Celtic are making it look easy, but that doesn't mean that it is. Joe, thank you, appreciate it. We'll catch up with you at some stage next week or the week after, as champions, hopefully are champions again. Thanks everyone for the support. I will return at some stage after the game, and I might even have a beer at that stage.